I've had people ask me, both in person when seeing my Malifaux figures and online when seeing my vlog talking about both my Von Schill figures and my nearly finished upcoming Victoria's crew, whose bricks are you using? In the bases of the figures, there are little bricks that I put on. I kind of make my own bases rather than buying them. And there's a lot of different manufacturers out there right now that are making bricks. And people ask, well, whose bricks are you using? Technically, I'm using my own bricks. I make my own little tiny scale model bricks to use in bases and even once in a while in terrain, although in terrain I would need to make a lot more of them frequently, and that's kind of a pain, as you're about to see. What I do to make my own bricks to put on bases, like for my Von Schill characters here, and you'll see some close-ups on the overlay of both Mr. Von Schill himself and also the Freikorps librarian. Both of those I've got little tiny scale model bricks worked onto the bases. Von Schill's actually standing on an entire base that's just basically bricks. And they're kind of like adobe blocks. They're not tiny, tiny bricks. They're a little bit bigger than what you would normally have for scale, but if they were too small, you would barely be able to see them. If they fit to scale what a normal brick that we, expect to see brick size, if you had something like that and you put it next to guys that are only this big, they would be so tiny that would be really difficult to see. So you make bricks that are a little bit bigger, but they're still to scale, but not really. How do I do it? I guess I should get to. Well, this is a pill bottle full of my work, and what I use is this stuff. This is 3mm craft foam. I happen to get it in brown, but you could get whatever color you want because you're going to paint over it. But this is craft foam that you get, foam sheet is what it says in the label here. I got it from my local Hobby Lobby. You can get it from pretty much any place that does craft stuff. That's step one, you need craft foam. The second thing you need is one of these. Now you're saying to yourself, how do you make a brick out of a round hole punch? Well, that's the trick. This is not a round hole punch. This is actually that they call, I believe, a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. I say 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch rectangle hole punch. That's really all you need. Now you can find these in maybe your slightly nicer craft stores, places that are getting more into scrapbooking. This will be maybe something you might find in scrapbooking, or you can do like I do and just go on to Amazon and do a big search and find it. It's made by a company called Fiskars or Friskars. I think Fiskars. I'll put a link in the show notes down below. It was like $8 tops. So you buy this thing. It's got a nice grippy handle. It's heavy duty, and you can see here possibly, you might be able to see that I have been making a lot of bricks. So this is really all you got to do. I'm going to show you right here. Okay, so to make the bricks, you're just going to take your hole punch and you're just going to punch it out. Now the trick is that when you do that, one of two things can happen. One thing, which is what just happened, is the little brick can go flying. Static electricity will build up and those little buggers will just go all over the place. The other thing is that sometimes you won't squeeze hard enough and it'll get stuck like a hanging chad, which you don't want. So what I do is I usually hold my hand over the top where it punches through so that if it ejects, it doesn't go flying somewhere here in the basement. I'm not quite sure where it went. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to just put it in here and punch. I got one. Let me just put it out. That was your hanging chad. And there's your first little scale model brick. Now all you have to do is that another couple hundred times and you will have great little bricks, a bottle of them, that you'll be able to put and make little things out of, and you'll have all kinds of projects that you can do with it. Like I said, mainly use it for basing. If you tried to build like a tiny little wall, you would probably go insane. On Von Schill here, the little floor of his base That took a long time, to be perfectly honest, and it drove me a little bit nuts. But I wanted it to look kind of beat up, so the fact that it didn't line up perfectly was okay. But this is basically all you've got to do, is you just take it and you just punch, and then they get stuck sometimes in there. There we go. And you just keep punching. Out of a sheet like this sheet is 12 by 18. You could make, I'm going to do the math, carry the 5. I'm going to say about 1 billion, maybe 2 billion. 2 billion of these little tiny blocks out of this one 12 by 18 inch sheet, which cost 99 cents. So that, plus this thing, which is about $8, you're going to make as many tiny little bricks as you care to. And you'll be able to use them in any kind of project you want. And anytime that you run out, you can just make more.